So, welcome to Palak's classroom. As I said, let's begin our first video of C++ programming language with introduction. And in today's video, we will be discussing the topic C++ variables, literals, and constants. Right now, first is what are variables? See, you have a data, and data is of different kinds. It could be a number, it could be a letter, it could be a string of characters. So, to store these different kind of data, you need variables. So, what is variable? What is data type? What is constant? All these terms will be clear by the end of the video. Just keep listening to me. So as I am saying that variables are the storage containers in which you store the data. And as I told you, there are different kind of data like integer data or character type of data. So you have different containers for different kind of data. For example, I want to store the age. So age is a number, so it should be stored in an integer type of data. In computer language, that is C++, we have a keyword called int, where we store numeric data. And int is a numeric data type. So what is a variable then? The name you have given to that data type is called a variable. Now see on the screen. As you can see, int here is a data type, which means that whatever we are declaring a variable, it will hold a value which will be a numeric type. You are getting, I suppose. So data type is int, which is an integer, age, which is your variable name, and 17 is your value. If you want to visualize on how it looks, so if you have a memory like this, main memory, a space has been created for an int age data type in which that space name is age, and in that space what is stored? Yes, 17 is stored. So this 17 value is stored. So for example, if you ask your computer, give me what is the age I have stored, so it will search the whole memory, find where age is written, and when it finds the age, then it will give you the value 17. Moving on next, there are some rules. Let's quickly see them. What are the rules for declaring a variable? A variable should begin with an alphabet or an underscore. For example, first name, x1, last name. These are the sample syntaxes which I have used. For example, x1 is a variable which is of integer type, and in x1 we are storing 90. Similarly, we have this first name as a variable, and the string is a data type, and in which I have stored my name. Remember, whenever you have finished your syntax, you should put a semicolon. Now, moving to the next rule. The next rule is a variable name cannot begin with a number. So, for example, these. As I've written 1, 2, 3, 4, or these are wrong. You should not use them as a variable name. However, if you're using something called like x1, it is beginning with an alphabet, and then numbers can come. So this one is correct. That first an alphabet and then numeric value, then that variable name is correct. But otherwise, these two are wrong. All right. Now let's quickly begin to our third rule, that you should not begin your variable name with uppercase. For example, this color or phone number. Although they are valid, but it's not a good practice. A variable name should not be a keyword. What is a keyword now? You might be thinking, what are the keywords? For example, this, as I have written, int, string, float. So these are the predefined words in the computer's memory, and you should never declare them as your keywords. Otherwise, the computer will get confused that whether it's a variable or integer or what it is. So never declare a predefined keyword. Now, next, what is your rule is that variable name can start with underscore, but it's not a good practice. See here, I have started with underscore last name, but it's not a good practice. Okay, now what are C++ constants? Now constants are the variable values which cannot be changed once you have assigned them. And once you have assigned them, if you try to change, the compiler will give you error. So you should never change them. And how will you identify that whether a variable is constant? Using this const keyword, right? And here is a sample syntax. Here I am using the, what I'm doing is that I have declared a variable pi, which is a float data type. Now, what is this float data type? Just quickly, I'm telling you that it stores numbers, but it stores numbers which are decimal or exponential. Int only stores a whole number, or you may say integers, but float can store decimal numbers and exponential numbers also. So this variable pi is a constant type, and I have declared the value 3.14. Can you identify the mistake? There is a mistake here. I have not put the semicolon. Always remember to finish your syntax with the semicolon. Now in the next line, I have overwritten the value of pi with 2.11. This will give me an error with saying that pi is a constant value, you cannot change it. So these are some small things which should be clear by now, so that when you are doing proper code, you don't make these mistakes. There are two ways to define C++ constants. First is this one, and another is hashtag define. It's a preprocessor directive which we will learn in the further tutorials. So you need to wait. Now, what are C++ literals? Now, C++ literals are the values which are assigned to each constant variables, and that are referred as literals, right? Now, in the previous example, this 3.14 is a literal because this is a value which is assigned to a constant data type, right? And there are integer literals, and under integer you have a decimal literal with base 10, means the number 0 to 9 can come. Any number like 99, 100, 40, 50, 60, decimal numbers. Octal literal, number 0 to 7. And how will you differentiate whether it's a octal literal or a decimal literal? So octal literals begin with 0. 0 followed by any number, 45, 0, 7, 5, 6. But these are not the actual numbers. Remember, 0, 45 is an octal literal, and in decimal it means 17. So to differentiate whether it's an octal literal you have given, or a decimal or hexaliteral, so there are different prefixes. For example, hex literal, the prefix is OX or O capital X, and it can contain numbers 0 to 15. You should see that 0 to 9 are the numbers, and after that 11 is represented by A. You can use small a or capital A. 12 is represented by B or small b, and so on till 15, right? And this is the representation of hexaliterals OX23A. Then binary literals, you must know that it binary with base 2, 0 or 1. And how the computer will know? With the prefix OB or O capital B. Here is the example. You may sometimes see a number like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so on, and last you see LL. Computer read this as a long integer value. So it stores it as a long integer value. These are few more kind of literals with example like floating point literal, a constant variable declared with a decimal stored in float val. character literal with single character, single quotes, string literal with double quotes, a string, boolean literal which says yes or no, true or false. So constant bool literal, right? So this is something like e minus 5 means 10 raised to power minus 5. Sometimes you may see the values like this. Oh, it's a quiz time. That means we have done our part. Now it's your turn to tell me the right answer. The constants are also known as so constants are also known as literals. That's correct. What is the next question? Okay. What will be the output of the following C++ code? Ignore these three lines for now. Just focus on this constant int p is equal to 5 and then p is equal to 7. And what will be it will display on the screen? Options are 5, 6, error or 7. So you have to tell me what will be displayed. Correct answer is it will give you error. Why? Because see, in memory, as I've told you, this is your main memory, and here there will be a space called p. Const p will be created where your 5 will be stored. So if you try to overwrite this with say 7, if you try to overwrite it with the 7, then it will give you an error. It will give you error. So you cannot overwrite a constant variable. So this is incorrect if you override this with 7. Hope you got it, that you cannot override this with 7, because if you do so, it will give you error. So the correct answer is the error. Great. So let's move to our next question. Variable name X or capital X are both same. If I write, for example, I write here int X is equal to 7 semicolon, or I write int capital X equals 7. Are both these X's same? No, they are different. So the correct answer is false. They are not same. C++ is case sensitive, guys. That means capital letters and small letters means different. So these both X's, small and capital, means different to computer. Right? Okay. Let's move to the next question. Okay, the information stored in a variable is called as, come on, you should say by now, yes, it's called value. If it's a constant variable, then the value is called literal. Otherwise, a normal variable, we say the information stored as a value. Great, I think you have answered all correctly. And with this, we have come to an end. See how quickly we have covered the first topic of our first chapter. So the next topic which is coming up is data types. You need to be consistent and stay tuned. Please subscribe for my channel, and if you like anything, do like and comment. Bye.